Hey guys, welcome back to another theory slash discussion video with me, the Mediocremaester, for House Bright. Today we're going to be talking about one of Patchface's riddles, and I'd like to get some feedback from you guys as to what you think on this theory. Again, I didn't construct the theory, it's sort of lots of different theories from different people, blogs, YouTube channels, meshed into one with a little bit of my insight thrown in over the top of it for good measure. So today the passage that we're going to be looking at is "The shadows come to dance, my lord, the shadows come to play. The shadows come to dance, my lord, the shadows come to stay." This is quite interesting, I think. So we'll start off by looking at the book A Dance with Dragons, which I've got here for you. It's probably backwards, but it doesn't really matter. So A Dance with Dragons. When we think about the book, we immediately come to the conclusion that the title refers to the events 300 years ago, plus during the Targaryen Civil War, known as the Dance of the Dragons, in which Targaryens fought and killed each other on their dragons for dominion of Westeros. But let's look again. The title reads A Dance with Dragons, not of, implying that this time the dragons are dancing with a different entity instead of other dragons. Subtle, but it's interesting, I thought, to have a look at. So my first thoughts were, when I thought about this, dance with dragons. Who dances with the dragons in the book? The first thoughts were Quentyn Martell, who travelled from Dawn to Meereen to proposition Dany for her hand in marriage, but ended up a smoking pile of bones. Possibly, we don't quite know just yet. But Quentyn's such a minor character in the grand scheme of things, and I don't think that George Martin would actually waste a book title on such a minor character. I also thought the same about Hizdahr-zo Lorak, Daenerys' actual husband, the Giscari, I don't know what they call them. He's like Meereenese royalty, I think. But again, he doesn't even have POV chapters in the book, so I doubt it's about Hizdahr-zo Lorak dancing with the dragons, if you will. So, who or what is dancing with the dragons? Described as fire made flesh, these dragons. Could the Lord of Light be even more mysterious than we originally thought? Could the shadow demons birthed by Melisandre be our mysterious dancers? So, in the books, Melisandre births two shadow babies that we know of, both in Stannis' image. So that means with Stannis' face. One for the murder of Renly Baratheon, Stannis' brother, and one to kill Courtney Penrose in Storm's End during the siege after Renly's death, because one of Robert's bastards is holed up in there and Stannis wants him for his king's blood. Gendry in the show, I think that was the character they swapped him out for. So that's two shadow babies. Now in the series, Patchface or Shireen Baratheon, either or books or show, might well have prophesied our dragon's dance partners in song. Of course, prophecies in A Song of Ice and Fire are super ambiguous, and theories surrounding them should always be taken with a fistful of salt and smoke. So with that in mind, let's break down one of Patchface's riddles. So he says, the shadows come to dance. Let's be generous and assume that the shadows spawned in Stannis' image by Melisandre really are our prophesized dragon dancers here, so they are dancing with the dragons. Just assume that for now. They're born of blood magic, not of the faith of R'hllor, as confirmed by Brienne just before she beheads Stannis, when Brienne says, "You murdered him with blood magic," and Stannis confirms, "I did." So my lord, the second part, is repeated in the song, and aside from mortal lords in Westeros, Ned Stark, Renly Baratheon, etc., Tywin Lannister, the title is only ever used to refer to the deity known as the Lord of Light in the series. There is no other lord. Or R'hllor, which is the Lord of Light's proper name used by the Red Priestesses and Red Priests. I think it's safe to assume that given the evidence, this song is directed towards R'hllor himself, possibly as prayer or a request for guidance due to the nature of the blood magic, which Melisandre originally presumes is simply another miracle of the Lord of Light. But it's clearly not, because we also see the blood magic working for or against Daenerys and Khal Drogo and what was Daenerys' son called? He was called Rhaego, who unfortunately dies because blood magic is shifty as fuck. So does Patchface's song imply that Melisandre has doubts about her shadow demons truly being tools of the Lord of Light? Could she be asking R'hllor whether or not he gifted this power upon her by describing the outcome to her god? So is she asking R'hllor through this song that we hear interpreted by Patchface in his wisdom, is she asking him whether or not this is a gift of the Lord of Light?